now we're gonna go ahead and shape to the dismount. All right. Again, as always, thank you for surfing the wave with me, Halel Hawa. Halel Hawa. It's an honor for me to be surfing the wave with you. You dig? And you know what I'm saying? We've really have crystallized something special. And it's been a blessing to see the crystallization, especially over the last 2 weeks, especially with the tribe coming together through all the adversity. So I hope that you guys can appreciate, you know, the flow, appreciate, you know, me coming out the blocks, coming in hot. But you know what? It's something that's been building up. So I'm just glad that I can finally surf the wave with you guys and get this out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you support the tribe in everything in every way that you can. Whether that's being a dragon sponsor on the wall, whether that's, you know, participating in the drop chat, you know what I'm saying, whether that's interacting in any type of way. You know, don't forget to get your ether pack. So important, so that you can always have, you know what I'm saying, the drop at the ready, so that you can slice and dice the hijack, and you know you can also do your homework. Okay, please continue to give to the fund, because we're going to, how can I say, we're going to kind of expand, and we have been expanding to make sure that, you know, if we got 500 code keeper Nagas, you know, we setting a standard that hasn't been set for us before, and it shows us that, you know what I'm saying, we can actually crystallize intention. You dig? Crystallizing intention, and not everybody can rock with that. All right. Now, with that being said, okay, what are we talking about here? All right, we were rocking on understanding the vacuum, right? Understanding the vacuum, and how the vacuum really plays in how we understand and what we need to understand in terms of what is man, all right? Not who, but what, okay? Not who, but what. And when we hit dismount, we were talking about how the demon takes you back to this hell night. Now, I think it's funny, and you should probably think it's funny, you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes from an unknown origin, right? That's what they said. That, you know, we're talking about hell nights and swan nights. You know, there seems to be this juxtapolarity. On the one hand, you have this one frequency of Queen Sheba. That's like legit, right? And then you got this other frequency of Shiva as being, you know, Shiva, you know, this death goddess, you know what I'm saying? You know, how's it go? It goes something along the lines of how does Brother King say it? Their Christ ain't your Christ. You know, your redemption is their revelation. When you take your Passover, you know, when you're on Shabbat, when you're keeping the code, it's viewed to the enemy as a hellish thing. They demonize it, right? Quite literally, they demonize it. All right. So let's continue from where we were surfing the wave, and we're gonna slide all the way to the dismount. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. The usual ancient Greek sense, supernatural, shout out to natural by law, agent, or intelligence lower than a god, ministering spirit, is attested in English from 1560s and sometimes written as daemon or daemon, right? For purposes of distinction, meaning destructive or hideous person, is from 1610. Okay, so we got whack ass Estebanico Cortez in 1560. We got, whack ass black ass King James, whack ass black ass King Charles. Right. It's an evil agency personified, right? Rum, etc. From 1712. The demon of Socrates, late 14th century in English, was a dominion, right? Divine principle or inward oracle. Now, as we stated before in the last drop, right, it should kind of stick out to you because it's also like the word Tanim and Tananim, right? Demon of Socrates, late 14th century in English, was a dominion, right? A divine inward oracle. His accusers and later the church fathers, however, represented otherwise, right? Represented otherwise. The demon star, 1895, is Algol, right? We can probably dig on that at some other time later in the drop, right? And again, we even dug on this root as far as to divide, right? To divide. The portion, demon, right? To dole, epidemic, right? Time. Time. So your time is a demon, right? Talking about the demiurge, right? The demagogue. We dug on this. We dug on this before. Right. All right. So, in any case, let's keep it moving. All right. Now, again, we were in the prior drops. Just a quick recap. We dug on good. Good got so many definitions. That's something that you guys got to do your homework. We also got good breaking it down as far as the etymology is concerned when we were digging on good, right? Digging on good. All right. So now, why is that important? What else were we digging on? So now we covered man. Demon. We covered good, the good man, God man. Covered demon. What's the other? Frequency, energy, and vibration. All right. Let's see here. What does Noah got to say about the about demon? Right. Spirit, immaterial being, holding a middle place between man and the celestial deities of the pagans. All right. Now, don't get it twisted, right? Doom Diverses 1452 is about capturing the pagan and the Saracens, and that's not by coincidence because what I'm saying, we're only talking what Johns or Jeomes, and these quote unquote pagans are what? These these Pajans, right? They don't come from they represent, how can I say? They represent the masculine aspect. Okay, This is where you get, it kind of connects all into the whole the druids and the Picts and all that type of stuff. Right? The ancients believed that there were good and evil demons. Right? There were what? Good and evil demons. Right? Which had influence over the minds of men, and that these beings carried on an intercourse between man and gods, conveying the addresses of men to the gods and divine benefits to men. Now, stop. You got a couple of different things popping off, right? Now he says he chooses the word intercourse, right? And you get this with what? In your Genesis chapter 6, the sons of God going into the daughters of men, right? Right. Now, you also got what? You also get the story as is written when it comes down to Enoch, right? He had to intercede between the men and gods, as it were, right? He was these gods' lawyer. All right. Right. His demon became the object of worship. Right. They fell. And and again, I can't express enough. When it comes down to this, like, greater clock, I guess is the best way for me to put it. Each fall of the archangels represents a quote unquote day in Genesis or something like that. It represents an age. It represents an epoch. Lucifer represents the first one to fall, right? And the age that we are currently living in is under the fall of Saint Michael, right? This is where you get all this admixture and iconography of him slaying a dragon, right? The precepts take you of Genesis 3 take you directly to Revelations 9 and 1 and 12 something and 20 and something, and to completely describe who and exactly the serpent is in Genesis chapter 3. So there ain't no questions. It ain't up for debate. You know what I'm saying? Get out of the mind of a hijack. And if you believe in something that they taught you in the 5th grade, you still might be still in the mind of a hijack. Okay? It was supposed also that human spirits, after their departure from the body, became demons, and that the souls of virtuous men stop. After the departure from the body, they became demons, right? And that the souls of virtuous men, if highly purified, were exalted from demons into gods. Come on, man. Typologies. Shout out to Brother Yosef. Typology 101. Right? Because demons and gods, the demon and the good men, right, are one and the same. But there's a third. But there is a third. Now, the demons in the New Testament were supposed to be spiritual beings which vexed and tormented men. Okay. In general, now, if you notice that, you notice what Noah is saying here. It's not until you get your New Testament that these quote unquote demons are considered vile, right? Much like your noble image, you, right? You're vile. You're black. Right? You're everything but what you're supposed to be. You're hidden, you're wicked. And that's all because of your bloodline. Okay. Now, we're supposed to see. In general, okay, the word in modern use signifies an evil spirit or genius, right, which influences the conduct or directs the fortunes of who? Mankind. Now you notice he didn't say the fortunes of man, he says the fortune of mankind. Okay. And again, remember, we're talking about what? We're not talking kinds, we're talking types. Do you follow? Each type has multiple kinds. Okay? Each type has multiple kinds. Not my science, it's their science. But they stole it from us, so it is our science. So I ain't making this up, I ain't lying. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, so let's dig on it. Because this is where it's gonna really bake your noodle. Because we are only talking about man, right? We are only talking man. All right, give me one quick second. Let me go. I'm gonna pause it real quick, and I'm gonna bring it right back. So please, please, please forgive me for the sound skip. Hold on, fam. All right, thank you. Tawada, Shalaki. All right, had to wet the whistle. All right, let's see here. So we're digging on man. So the etymology of man. Now, etymology of man. Let's make sure I can see this good. All right. We're talking about a featherless, what? Plantigrade biped mammal of the genus Homo. All right. Featherless. Okay. Got it. Century Dictionary, Old English, man, right? Being what? Man. Human being, person, male or female, right? There we go. Male or female. Brave man, like that Braveheart. And what? Hero. Promise you, we only talking romance. Only talking that ancient love song. Also, what? Servant, right? Or slave. Vassal or vessel, right? Adult male, right? Adult male. Okay. Now, let's see. Someone under the control of another person. Proto-Germanic man, old source. Saxon, Swedish, Dutch, old German man, right? French bond, German man, and what have you, right? Gothic as is manna. You know, the manna from heaven. What are you really talking about? From the pi root of man, right? Oh, no, not yet. Let's go back. From the plural, seamen, sometimes connected to the root men, right? Star M-E-N, right? To what? To think. And we dug on it. To think is to know, okay? And you know by what you see, okay? Now, which would make the ground sense of man, right? One who has intelligence, but not all linguistics accept this. Lieberman, for instance, and right, most probably, man, human being, is secularized divine name from Manus Tactus Germania, right, believed to be the progenitor, right, of the human race, or Adam, right? Now, in a specific sense of adult male of the human race, distinguished from the woman, right? Distinguished from the woman or boy, okay? But not the girl, woman or boy. Is by late Old English, Circa 1000, that 1000, wow, right? Old English used weir or wife, right, to distinguish the sexes, but weir began to disappear in the late 1300s and was replaced by man. Okay, now Now you understand why they're called werewolves, right? Your lycanthrope, the cynocephalus, right? Universal sense word remains in mankind and manslaughter. Damn, that was an extreme. Similarly, Latin had homo, human being, and vir, adult male human being, but they merged in vulgar Latin, with homo extended to both senses. Okay, so it was extended to both senses. Like evolution took place in Slavic languages, and in some of them the word has narrowed to mean husband, right? The pi had two other man roots. That was a trippy one, but it means what? Freeman, right? And Sanskrit has Vira, right? Or the Viras, right? And it takes you back to this one, star IWI-RO, right? That Rohan, right? Man, right? The title honor sense, right? Almost sounds almost like hero also, right? And then you have see it in the Greek in star NER. Okay, you can see how it really spins off in a couple different variations. And man in the verb means to furnish, right? A fort, a ship, right? A fort or a ship, etc. Again, we're talking about that Admiralty law. Okay, now you see how it plays when you're talking about a man, and then also you see how it plays when you're talking about a demon and a monster, right? Because that's a type of man. When you say monster, that is a type. No, I'm sorry, that's not a type of man. That is a kind of man. Okay, when you're digging on men, and there's a lot of different etymologies from which this all spins, right? Now, let's go to this first one here real quick. And this is where you get, it forms all the part of alderman, right? Fugleman, Herman, right? Got a name. Lehman, right? Almost like limon or lemon, right? Manish, mannequin, right? Norman, okay, all right. And the Yama, right? Then it also means what? And the second, it means hand, right? That takes you back to Picto-Paleo, right? Man with arms raised, right? Talking about the hand. No, wait a minute. Isn't there another one in Picto-Paleo? It's Armin something. Yeah, it's the yod, right? The work, the throw, the worship. All right, let's go back. While we do our homework, Aquatai, we do our homework. All right, let's see here. But that's also where you get the word what? Command, commando, right? Right, demand, right? Emancipate, right? Separate, maintain, manage, right? Raymond, right? Mandate, mastiff. You know what I'm saying? Also, where you get what? Manure, right? You were colonized. You got shitted on. Talking about booty, right? Hand, strength, power, over, armed force, right? And check out handwriting. We're talking about the logos, right? Hand. All right, we're only talking about man. Now, if you notice, when you break it on down, right? When you break it on down, when you break it all down, there's different types of man. Now, I bring this up because now that we understand that we have different types of man, right? With everything collapsing and popping off. When we go back to the 9 worthies, right? Check this out. When we go back to the 9 worthies, it was kind of funny how it was all described and explained. And oh, come on, and the way that they describe the way that they described. I'll give you the brown talk. There we go. And the way that they described this, and I had to empty my cup, and I reread it again, like it's the first time. And we're supposed to be searching for David and our priest king, and right in our face bone, excuse me, and right in our face bone, you have what? David is one of the 9 worthies, and I always presented it as that these were 9 reflections of Prester John, the Dragon 9, and then Prester John, the Priest King. Okay. And oddly enough, that does play a role. That does play a factor, because we come to realize that what's going down is that it's all popping off at the same time, right? It's all popping off at the same time. So what I mean by that here is that, and we get this when we studied the Papuva and in the dictionary of the glossary, of the OWASP. A lot of this stuff is contemporaneous, and we see that when it comes down to a lot of these stories, especially when we understand the parallel timeline in history. Now, why do I bring this up? Let's go back. Because we're talking about the etymology of a vacuum. Alright? We're talking about a vacuum. Now, understand what you're reading. E-U-E is the same as Eve. It's the same as Hawa. Right? It's just like as we broke down, man is really you man, and what's being X'd out is the you, or the HU, or the HUA, or the HUE, however you want to crystallize it. But that all means what? Hawa. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because I hate to admit it, y'all still in the mind of a hijack with this whole Easter thing. Right? And I understand why. Because we're only talking about an ew, right? Everything's been add, mixed, and flipped. Now, it means to leave, abandon, and give out, with derivative meaning abandoning, lacking, and empty. It forms all or a part of. It forms all or a part of what? Vacant, right? Vacuum, vain, right? Vanity, all is vanity. Everything's a vexation of the wind, right? Waste, wanton, want, wane, you know what I'm saying? Okay? To lack, right? Empty, poor, empty, right? Vanus. That's almost like what? Venus, right? And look at this. Wan, like in Wan Kong, right? Notice that you get these 2 different types of images when it comes down to Prester John, your priest king, right? Where you get the word want. Let's dig on it a little bit deeper here. Let's see what else it says. Let's go deep. All right. So now, why is all that important? All right. For a dismount. So we were talking about a vacuum, and when we're talking about the 9 worthies, right? What we're really talking about, and I had to get out of the mind of a hijack when it comes to this. I had to reread it and get it like it was the first time. When it comes down to the 9 worthies, and I was always teaching it from the perspective of, well, they're all phantoms and duplications. They're all artificial, and in reality, it's all happening. And David is a 9 worthy. He's riding a face bone. And when I reread the 9 worthies, I understood that the 9 worthies are the knights of the round table. They are the swan knights. You know what I'm saying? David is the king of kings, and he got 8 other code keeping nagas. And you can get this in the construction of the pyramid. Your pyramid over there is not a 4-sided pyramid. It's an 8-sided pyramid with no capstone. You know what I'm saying? Look at the back of your dollar bill. That represents Esau and what's under his authority as far as the vessels, the swan knight. But when you read the story of the different when you read the story of the different knights, when you read the story of the different knights, what you're actually getting is the same story. Wow, my computer's acting real funky. It won't let me pull it up. So it's probably a good time for me to just go ahead and close out. And I'll just say it this way. When you have the story of the 9 worthies, right? You get the 3 better Jews, and then you get the 3 pagans, and you get the 3 Christians. And they're, again, shout out to Fireball, Ms. D. There's only one ancient love song, and you're actually telling the story 9 different ways. So, for example, it's, when you read the story in King Arthur, right? You have Lancelot, who's not Lancelot, is Lancelin. And Lancelin is a reflection of Alexander the Great. Now, when you dig on the story of King David, he has what? He has the story of the Hittite, right? He's